Hello there everybody, Oimon here, and welcome to Metroid 2 Return of Samus. Because, of course I was gonna play this, and of course I was gonna play it in its original black and white color too. Because, well, again, why wouldn't I? Okay, I will say a bit of a funny story about that. I was always intending to play the original black and white version. You know, sort of original Game Boy in that sense. And what ultimately happened was I went to load it up and I kept getting the colored version. I thought, oh, it's doing that thing where it's loading a Game Boy Color thing and I just got to change the color. No, I forgot that I had a modded colored version of Metroid 2. So I had to very quickly go to one of my many special places to get a black and white copy. But that was my fault. I forgot that I originally used the color version last time I played this. Yeah, there is that thing. Hey Jagoth, welcome. Team that made Metroid 2 made the Game Boy Color and programmed a special color palette into the Game Boy Color. Yeah, that is true actually. Which I think is what the modded version is. It's just one that specifically brings out the Game Boy Color colors in it. Which works out quite well, I think. I think that's the version in that one. Because there's also the one where if you use the Game Boy Player on the SNES, that also has a different color palette for it, although that one doesn't look quite as good. That's in pictures. It's got this, it gives the background this weird blue color, and it doesn't work quite well. I mean, I can understand why, but it doesn't work really well. Also, it is really fucking warm in the UK today. I mentioned this yesterday when I was playing Resident Evil, but it's got even warmer. It's supposed to be even warmer still. It's like, we went from last week where it was like 15 degrees, like it was getting cold and chilly and all that stuff. And now, tomorrow they're predicting it's 30. We cannot have a swing of 15 degrees in the span of a week, okay? Not good. Anyway. So if I'm a little out of it or a little dopey today, just bear with me. It's fucking hot. Anyway, I've got the fan blowing on my feet, so hopefully that'll help. And hopefully you won't hear it on the mic too much. Hopefully. So, yes. Anyway, Metroid 2. It's a classic. And it's a classic that a lot of people kind of look down on, and I've never quite understood why. Like, I get it, right? I know it's a Game Boy game. I know it's kind of antiquated. I know it's also very linear compared to, you know, what we think of as being a Metroid game these days. But it still holds a special place for me because it was my first Metroid game, which is something I've talked about before. I've actually played this game before. God, some years ago now. It was back on my old YouTube channel. It was one of the very early ones that I originally played. And in fact, I think that's why I had the color version, because I wanted to play the color version of the game. Yeah. So I have played this before. But I haven't played it for years, and in general, I haven't actually played the game for years either, not just in a, you know, playing it for other people sense. I literally have not played this game for quite a long time. So hopefully my memory stays intact. That does remind me, I didn't get the map out. If you'll give me just a quick moment. I just need to, yeah, because it doesn't do anything when I'm muted. Where did I put that map of mine? Because I make maps for Metroid games, because of course I do. I'm just that kind of person. There you are. There you are. Right, okay. Like that. Yeah, that'll do it. Honestly, I don't really need a map. I pretty much know this game back to front. But, just on the off chance my memory decides to fail me, because as I said, been a long time. Let's keep it going. Anyway. Let's get going, shall we? And we're off. Wop, wop, wop. And look, you don't need the bloody long beam anymore, isn't it lovely? You still can't fire diagonally, but hey, at least you can fire down now, which is definitely a bonus compared to before. Anyway, off we go. You know, I do have a little anecdote, actually, about the first time I ever played this game. I'd never played a Metroid game before, as stated, and my knowledge of Metroid was zero. So I'd never even heard of the series before Metroid 2. So I was like, Okay, well, you know, you go along this way. Oh, look, you got enemies you can kill. You can shoot them. That's fine. You know, I've played a few platformers in my time. I know what you do. You go to the right. Of course you go to the right. What else would you do? So you go along here. You kill a few enemies. Oh, there's a pit. Well, you definitely want to avoid that because you don't go down pits. Oh, hang on. There's a dead end here. Well, that can't be right. Hang on. Did I miss something back at the ship? And I actually ran back. I ran back to the ship. I then came back into the tunnel. I jumped over the pit again. I tried firing at the wall. Everything. It took about 10 minutes for my brain to say, maybe try going down the pit. Because I played platformers. You don't go down in a platformer. How silly. Down means death, you know? I mean, I played like... There's a level in Sonic the Hedgehog for the Master System where you're climbing up throughout the whole thing. And it still has that thing where if you hit the bottom of the screen, you're dead. So the idea that the bottom of the screen is death was so completely ingrained in my brain that I literally took 10 minutes to pluck up the courage to do this. Of course, eventually I did work it out and ended up getting through the game. Actually, it took me a long time to complete this game. I can't remember exactly when it was I got it. I remember I got a Game Boy Pocket, actually. It was one of the see-through color ones. You know, that had, like, you could see all the insides and everything because the plastic was slightly see-through. And it came with 2 games. The first one, as you might imagine, was actually Wave Race. Which was a fun little racing game. I had some fun playing on that. It wasn't like a game I played on a lot, but I played on it a good chunk. And of course the other game, Metroid 2. I never played a Metroid game. I had no fucking clue what the fudge I was doing with this. But it was definitely the game I enjoyed the most out of the 2. I had a whole bunch of, you know, games over the years because of course I did. But, yeah. Of course, the other big problem I faced is that, I never really bothered to read the instruction manual that much. I mean, I read it, but I didn't, like, absorb any information. I didn't know you had to push select in order to get out missiles so you could kill Metroids. Genuinely didn't know. Whoop. Oi. Well, look, you start with more than 30 health. Yes, you do. And here's fun. Although there is a Metroid here, there is also upgrades for no real reason whatsoever. Rumble, rumble. Earthquake. So we all know what that means. It means it's time to move forward a little bit. I will say that is one of the things you sort of point out, oh, you start with more than 30 health. I will say, I feel the team that worked on this learned a lot from some of the mistakes that the original Metroid made. You know, you do start feeling a lot more competent. Obviously, you start with missiles because, well, I mean, I guess they could have made it so you didn't encounter your first Metroid until after you'd collected a few missile tanks, but the fact that they start you with missiles is just a nice, convenient thing, I guess. And of course you also start with the Morph Ball right off the bat too, which is always nice. And of course it also introduces save points, which is much better than a fucking password system. God, sound of my fucking childhood, I tell you. You know, to this day, I still don't remember how long it actually took me to, like, complete Metroid for the first time. And I don't mean in-game time. Like, that is something that's just lost to the ages at this point. But I'm talking about, like, how long it actually took me to beat the game. Because Metroid 2 is hard. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, Metroid 2 is very unforgiving. But then Metroid 1 is as well, I suppose. You know, Metroid 1 and 2 can be made manageable, by learning. It's a sort of a trial by error kind of thing. Yes. Ow. Okay. Whoop. Hello. And we're through. I do like those areas because they always feel like, oh, they're almost kind of references to the original Metroid in terms of their design, I always thought. Whether that's actually true or not, I don't know, but it always felt right. And at least enemies can't follow you through bloody doors this time. See, all these little quality of life improvements, you know. People think, oh, is it, you know, Metroid 3 was the game that made it all better. No, Metroid 2 made it a lot better as well, you know. Boy, howdy did it. Alright. Okay, so we go down, we get the bombs. First and foremost. Yay. And at least, you see, miscellaneous upgrades now also give you the shorter jingle. That's actually a weird one. Because that doesn't come back until Metroid 4. Because Metroid 3, every upgrade you get gives you the long jingle, rather than a short, hey, you just collected something jingle. Which is, you know, obviously the better jingle. Because it's shorter. Metroid 2 was an improvement over Metroid, but then it got superannuated a couple of years later. Yeah, unfortunately, that is kind of the problem. Is that, you know, the improvements that Metroid 2 made were good improvements, but then Metroid 3 came along and made even more. Which was a bit unfortunate for it. Right, where am I going? We want to go down, don't we? Get the ice beam, because we might as well get another beam upgrade. Because there's literally no point in not ice. You get that surprisingly early in this game. Then again, I suppose you can get it kind of early in the other game too. Because it was AM2R that really like super powered the ice beam. Made it just wreck everything. Which I really like, because that... Okay. Because that really helps it to feel like different. Like I've never seen an ice beam in a Metroid game do that before. Well, I'm looking forward to getting around to AM2R when we get there. Okay. Gotcha. And of course we can go through there to get to the thingamajiggy, but we're not going to do that. Actually, no, I'm misremembering that. Yeah, you do have to go down from above, don't you? I will say that's probably the one sort of lacking element of this, is that the music isn't as good. Like the main theme and like the main tunnel theme, those are fantastic, but like the Ruins theme, not really a lot. And then you just get this weird plinky plonky sound effect. I always wondered if that was supposed to be like, I don't know, dripping or something. Like it was supposed to be like water cascading down on a cliff or something, but I don't know. It's so hard to tell. Spitter ball. Something so useful it was almost never seen again. Even the friggin' 3D version specifically told you to keep it on a bloody track. Alright. Alright, kill another Metroid. I think it would have been too hard to program the spider ball in 3D. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, in the 3D version, I am not disparaging the fact they used the tracks. But I'm just saying that's what it took for us to get the spider ball back. I wonder if we're going to get it in Dread. That would be cool. Although I'm not going to hold my breath about it. Because it is a bit of a game breaker. Well, you know, a bit of a game breaker. It's a lot of a game breaker, really, let's be honest. Nice. Now, here's a fun fact that some people might not know. If, and I do mean if, you bother to go along the roof of this cave with the spider ball, you can, in fact, encounter health and missile recharges. There's almost no point to their existence because, well, you don't really need them. Enemy drops are a lot more common in this game, which, thank fuck. But yeah, it's just sort of there for the adventurer, I guess. Okay, don't know that. But yeah, so if you ever want to just go over the roof, you can do so with pretty good ease, actually. Just use the spider ball. Takes a bit of time, because of course it does. Ow. Because the spider ball is slow. But it works. Works well for what it is, I suppose. Good enough. Yeah, you definitely want to go over this way, because, hey, look. It's an energy recharger if you feel you need it. I don't, but if you do, it's useful to have it there. It's very strange how most of the energy rechargers are just hidden. There's very few that are just out in the open. I suppose that's... I guess that's kind of the point of them, perhaps, but... Alright. Honey, I'm home. Technically, I'm busy making one of the worst career moves Samus ever makes. If you think about how much is born from this game, like, Metroid 1 is relatively isolated in the Metroid canon. Like, it's fine, and it sort of introduces everything, but Metroid 2 is actually the... I guess the linchpin that the entire rest of the series stands on? Because 2 leads directly into 3. 2 also has a direct impact on 4. And, you know, looking at Dread, it looks like the events of 4 are going to come back to bite Samus again. So, 2, for all its faults, 2 is really a very important game in the franchise. As I said, 1 relatively sits by itself. It's a nice introductory game, but aside from that... But yeah, 2 is just... It circles around everything. Whoa, hello. And that should be a lot. Some memory's not playing tricks with me. There it goes. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Top up. Because I'm here and why not? And at least we don't have to worry about a surprise boss on the way out. No surprises here. Alright, well that's the sort of first major area done. It's not a long game. I will almost certainly do this in a full stream. Like, I was genuinely quite surprised that it took me almost a full 3 hours to get through the first Metroid. I mean, admittedly, I died and, you know, did have to do a little grinding to get back up to where I needed to be, but it wasn't that bad because I'd managed to get the, screw attack by that point. But, it all worked out. I'm still kind of shocked I managed to do that as well as I did. I mean, I know I died that one time because I fell down a pit, but aside from that, my playthrough of Metroid 1 went staggeringly well. This game and the remakes have the most bosses of any Metroid game. That is true. Mostly because it has all the Metroid fights. Which, yeah, they're kind of the bosses of the game. I do think it's very strange the way that, you know, both AM2R and Samus Returns do introduce more enemies than just the Metroids. Because, I mean, this game, in terms of bosses, I mean, I guess there's the boss that hides the spring ball, if you can call him a boss. He's more just a harder than normal enemy in this game. Technically he's a boss, but... I don't know, it depends on if you want to classify him as a boss or not. No, it's in the next area, it's not this area. With bloody floaty things. Love the way they surprise you with that in AM2R. Boy howdy did they surprise you with that. Classic. And saved. Okay, ah yes, here we are, we're in the water plant. I gotta remember, am I... Not good. I forgot about that guy. Need to remember which way around we go for the dwarf over there. Yeah, I think we want to go this way first, question mark. It's been so long since I played this. me go this way. Whoops. No, I didn't want to go down there yet. Ah, get up. Nice. Bingo. And up we go. Now we just bomb our way into the bloody various suit. And here we get the iconic shoulder orbs, which were sort of a necessity because of black and white, I guess. Good enough reason for a palette swap anyway, I suppose. It's funny when you always think about it, but we always think of the various suit as being... That's right, wasn't there? Come on, up we go. Almost forgot about this. But we always think of the various suit as being orange, but if you think about it, that didn't really start until Metroid 3. Because obviously in this game, it's black and white, so no colours. And in the original Metroid, the various suit turns you pink. Funny that. Ah well. I suppose that's just the one that everybody remembers. Alright, where do we want to go next? Well, we've got some tank up there, I suppose. Yeah, I thought so. Here's one you might not know about. Go along here and, assuming I'm correct, yay. How's about that, huh? Unfortunately, you can't go out that way. Gotta go back. And of course they regenerate because, of course they do. Can't go through here. Not a lot of people know about that one. I mean, I'm sure like the experts do, but I'm just saying most people don't. Anyway, we go along here. There's another alpha. All the way along. Here we go. best of my knowledge, there are no upgrades or anything along the roof of this particular area. So for now, we'll just drop down and go in here. Hello. Another one done. We'll get you later, don't worry. It's very much a Metroid 1 wall. Of course, in here we get the wave beam. And I do think it's kind of interesting, if you think about it, that the first two beams you get, you know, aside from your standard beam, are ice and wave. The two beams you actually get in the previous game. They wait until much later before introducing the new beams. Quite a bit later, actually, when I think about it. But, I mean, which beam you stick with? I don't think the beams are any worse or less in this game. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, now we want to... Oh, damn it, damn it, damn it. I would prefer to go the other way first, thanks. Ow. Haha. I also forgot how very quickly you get upgrades in this game. Okay. Come on. Press the right button might help. We go up. Ah, energy tanks. Gonna need a lot of you, ain't I? Especially when it comes to some of the other creatures around here. And up we go. You can get a lot of fucking missiles in this game. Which is a good job, because you need them. Boy howdy, do you need them. Come on, get up. Nice. Whew. And up we go. Oh, that's right. You can't actually go into multiple mode this way. Screw it. We'll go the other way, shall we? I forgot you can't go into multiple mode in the air in this game. I'm thinking of future Metroid games. Alright, back up. Been through all that, been through all that. Yeah, next up is that one. We'll get you and go through. Excellent. Yeah, you will get later. One more thing to do first. Giant plants. Weird things. Alright. And now, of course, we deal with Mr. Full jump thing. It's really easy if you know what you're doing. You just have to know to use bombs on it. Thing, of course, there's nothing in the game that clues you into that fact, so... Oh, it's that boss from Metroid Fusion. Yeah, it's actually really weird how much they changed the boss for Fusion compared to what it is in this one. Because in this game, it's not really even a boss. It's just a stronger than normal enemy that you have to beat in a very certain way. I would hesitate to call it a boss. As for technically yes, but technically not really. Nice. Alright, so that's all of that, all of that. Yes. Bloody laser beam firing machines. Right, off we go. Time to kill some Metroids. I do like how the areas are very much sort of denoted in that way, that the Metroids are around the temples, and the temples themselves contain all your items. It's actually pretty clever in terms of games design. It means you know sort of roughly where you're looking and where you want to go. Roughly. Get our first gamma through here, don't we? Yep. Get. Alright, well, there's your first gamma. Not showing up with as much ceremony as they do in both remakes. 2R, of course, has just the one in this area, which is a sort of a surprise boss when you're leaving a zone. Which I will say did surprise me. First time I played through that. And that's the main reason you really want to keep a wave beam on you through this game. Up until the end, of course, where you have to switch to the ice beam because it's a Metroid game, I guess. Nice. Alright, we're getting on. We are getting on well. Really should finish Samus Returns. We have a hard time playing on your 2DS now. Was it hurt your hands too much? Health top up if you need it, because after all those fights you probably do. And there's the next earthquake. Alright. No, it's just since the Switch came out, I've had a harder time playing on the 2DS. Oh. Okay. Well, you could always emulate it. That way you'll be playing with a controller. If you find it easier to, I don't know, sit at your computer and play games versus playing on your Switch. Beep. I'm already so far in this game, I've barely been playing it for an hour. In fact, I haven't been playing it for an hour. I've been playing it for about 40 minutes. I think I'm going to get through this game pretty quickly today. You can probably tell I know it well. Like, really well. Come on, get off the face. Ow. And we're back to the awesome music again. At least for a bit. Ow. Bloody infinitely regenerating ceiling dropping enemies. That's a very specific sentence. Here we get my least favorite piece of music in the game. Because it's just kind of annoying. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be, but it's a thing, I guess. Like, I can deal with the plodding ruins noise, but yeah, this one always annoyed me. Don't really know why. Not so many words, anyway. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? We want to go straight up, don't we? Is there a Metroid across here? No. Yes? No. No. No, I'm being paranoid. Can't say no to some more missiles, although I think... Actually, isn't there a missile recharge tank down here? Yep. Missile recharge! Up and around. Let me down, please. Yeah. Ah, yes, there it is. Screw attack. Yes, okay, there we go. I knew I needed something around here. At least there's no super secret boss guarding this bad boy. Hello. Now, can I remember the timing? Apparently I can. Ow. Okay, we want to go down here, because I know for a fact there's a missile tank in here. If you know where to look. And there's also a save point! Yay! God, I'm warm today. Right. Now. Here's the thing, and I will show it off because, well, I've got the time to. Not like I'm running low or anything. In this room is the first introduction of the Spacer Beam, but I don't want that. I want to stick with the Wave Beam. I like the Wave Beam. The Wave Beam is good. It is useful. Don't get me wrong, Spacer Beam is good too, but I really like the Wave Beam. It's one of the things, because like in these games, you know, the beams don't stack. It is very much a thing of, well, pick the one you want. Here we go. Nice. And the missile tank, because of course there is. They're everywhere. Oops. Hello. Hi, already, will you? Okay, and across here, should you want it? Well, firstly, there's a Metroid. And through here. You will find the introduction of the plasma beam if you decide you want that. But I don't, so as previously discussed, I'm perfectly fine to stick with the wave beam. Thank you very much. Ah, yes. How good is your left and righting? There is also the alternate way of doing it is to, you can actually use the screw attack to just jump straight up. It's a very particular thing. Takes a bit of practice to do, which practice of which I am out of. No, it's an energy tank. I knew it was something. I don't remember what. But I'll happily take an energy tank. There you go. I think there's another one in this area too, a little later on. Woohoo! Random completely invincible fire thrower things for no real reason whatsoever. They just are. Their attacks are totally random. You never know when they're going to do anything. So just get lucky, I guess. That'll do it. Nailed it. Whew. Ow. Whereabouts is that? There. Close enough. Yes. There's the energy tank. And if you sort of roughly know where you're going, it's not quite as bad as the dark area later on, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Who knew that the greatest warrior in the entire, or the greatest creature warrior, whatever the hell you want to call it, in the entire galaxy was vulnerable to, you know, missiles? I don't know, maybe Samus's missiles have like a special property to them or something. If I remember correctly, there it is. If you need it, it's a health recharge. Ow. Ow. And yet the younger stages in the most iconic form have to be frozen before a missile will damage them. Yeah, true. And also, if you think about it, in Metroid 4, you kill the Metroid at the end of Metroid 4 using just your Ice Beam. Which makes even less sense. Inconsistent, that's what it is. Probably should have used that missile recharge before I left, but too late, I'm off. Next area. Okay, so... is there a... No, I'm thinking of the other one. I'll take that, though. Ow. Okay, so we got all that, Let's go this way first. You? Nope. No. Works for me. Alpha and then a gamma, because they always go like that, I guess. Which is curiously through there. Such a random thing. Those numbers get whittled down awfully fast, don't they? Don't let me all the way down. Right. Yes. I want to go this way. Actually, is this the... Yeah, that's the one that goes all the way bloody through, isn't it? All the way down on this one. I think... There it is. Good enough. So if you're very careful. Oh, come on, there it is. Yeah, missile recharge over on that side. Nope, just another health recharge. I'd like a missile recharge, but I don't think I'm gonna get one anytime soon. Yes. Bingo. Yeah, this way. Ow. It's a very strange little one-way bit. You can't go down that way, at least as far as I know. But you can go up that way for reasons, I guess. It does lead you back up to the beginning. It's like the Skyrim door. That's what it is. See, Nintendo was doing it decades ago. And that should be all for this area. And we can take another shortcut back to... There hasn't been an earthquake. Did I? Nope, there it is. I was like, did I miss one? No. No, I didn't. It's just the earthquake was taking a little bit of time to trigger. Oh, you had me second guessing myself for a moment there, game. That's a dangerous game to be playing. Alright. Good to be back. And we're going to take a quick break here. We're honestly, to God, honestly, we are so far ahead in this game than I thought we would be. I don't think this game is going to take me 2 hours to get through, but I kind of suspected that would be the case. But we'll see. Like that the Prime Trilogy added the spring ball to Prime 1 and 2. Yes, like the fact you could just flick the thing and you jump, which was nice. It certainly made a lot of the ball puzzles that little bit easier to deal with. But anyway, yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you in a sec, guys. And we're back. Apparently my computer's complaining about that. Anyway, yes, hello, welcome back. Okay, off we go. Where are we going next? Oh, yes. We've got that bit to do, haven't we? Yes. I remember that bit. Oop, careful now. I'm gonna step in the acid. Is it acid? Is it lava? I don't know. The two games have imagined it very different things. Some say it's acid, some say it's lava. Don't think it really matters in the long run. You know what, screw it, let's just do this. Takes slightly longer, but I'm not in a rush. We get to listen to the beepy boopy background music. Well, I say music, it's more noise. Which is honestly how I describe most of the songs in this game. I mean, I get it, right? Game Boy game. Game Boy didn't exactly have the best sound in the world, but there were some, you know, good Game Boy games that had some really good sound in them. But the music in this game just, well, kind of sucks, if I'm honest. It's fine, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't exactly say it's the most memorable thing. As I said, with the exception of, like, the main tunnel theme, and possibly the music at the end of the game and the credit music. The credit music is fantastic. I love the credit music to this game. But yeah, a lot of the music in this game is not very good. I will say that is the one thing that both remakes actually did pretty well. Works for me. There it goes again. Alright, so now we go back to the previous area. I remember the first time I realized, oh, I'm going to be going down this pit, like in the other bit. I was kind of disappointed, because I thought, oh, that means I'm going to be stuck with that horrible music over there again, rather than having to listen to the main tunnel theme, which is, as I've previously mentioned, fucking amazing. So, I'm glad that it was only for one little bit, that you come over here, you do one Metroid. I tell you what, it's a real bit of weird padding for the game. Like, in general, this game is pretty linear. But just for this one little bit, like, you move forward, it gives you one Metroid, and then you have to backtrack. It's the weirdest thing. Maybe they felt the game was being too linear, so they wanted to change it. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Could really do with some missiles right about now. I guess we'll go this way first. Don't think it really matters in the long run. Oop, come on, up we go. Man, should be an alpha. Here we go. Ooh, hello. I get a health top up at least. Okay, we'll kill the Gamma on the other side. And at least we'll stop the... I don't know what you'd call it. It's like someone beatboxing badly or something. I don't know. Awful, awful, awful sounds. Hello. The right way. Yeah, there it is. I should trigger off another earthquake. Wow, we've already got 210 missiles. Wow. That's a lot of missiles. I think 250 is the most you can get in this game. I think. This game also does have that thing that the last game has, where it has redundant energy tanks. Although the last game has 2, this game only has the 1. But I think the most missiles you can get is 250, I think. Don't think you can go too much over that. Again, mostly done due to, like, you know, programming and overflow and all that stuff. 255 being the top. Knowing about programming. Alright, let's get out of this place and this awful, awful sound effects. Back to the good music. Come on, up you go. Metroid 2, but the ruin music doesn't stop. I can deal with the ruin music. The ruin music I don't... Well, it's not a great piece of music, but it's not like horrible either. That's the piece of music I don't like. That whole sort of... It's just like, what the fuck is that? What is it supposed to be? I don't know. I don't care. It's awful, whatever it is. I know there are definitely people out there who really don't like the ruins music, though. I can understand. Believe me, I do understand. But I don't find it that bad. Bats. Get the random boulders that are just there for no real reason whatsoever. Is this the bit where... No, I'm thinking of the wrong bit. This is... That bit I'm thinking of comes later. This is the bit where we go into, well, what AM2R refer to as the tower. The really fucking tall room. Success. Okay, now go down here, grab. There it is. Now. Reserves. There should be. Save point up here? Bingo. Gonna need that. I think we got all the Zetas to take care of. Boy, howdy, do we have all the Zetas to take care of. Right, well, I might as well make a start. As much as I hate dealing with them, we don't exactly have much of a choice. You can also get the screw attack here, but the screw attack doesn't really help you deal with Zetas. Well, it kind of does, but not in so many words. Very good. First time I ever ran into a Zeta, I don't even remember how many times I died before I finally killed one. I used to hate this whole section, this whole zone, because it took me so long to just work out the best tactic for Zetas. Which is, of course, pretty much the same tactic with all the Metroids. You just spam attacks at them until they die. But, I mean, I guess there's a tiny bit of strategy to it, but not really. Certainly not that much. because I'm not that fucking stupid. Right, now. I believe we go up just a little bit. That room, which I will show you, because, again, why not? Leads into the sort of internal section of the tower. Go up here. What you will find is there are in fact, I will say there are 4 of these. Ooh, hello. Do these things even die? Oh, good, they can. Yes, they can. I'm thinking of the other things. Yeah, there are 4 of these things, 4 doors, and they all lead into rooms where the 4 major gun types are. I think from the top it's, I don't know, plasma, spacer, wave, and ice. So ice is at the bottom. The reason for that, I don't know. They're just here. I guess it was just a case of they couldn't think of what else to put in there. Anyway, we gotta go this way because there's actually a gamma over here. Just the gamma. Very good. I have to be a little careful with my health, but I think we'll be okay. I know where there's an energy tank I can pick up. In fact, technically speaking, I know where there's 2. Okay, so that leads back into the tower, which we don't need to go into. Ow. Go down into here. We're in a sort of strangely dark room for reasons I don't, strictly speaking, remember. You just kind of have to sort of navigate by guess. Okay, that's the way out, but that's not just what we wanted. We also wanted... He's going along here. Well, if you go up, you can get yourself an energy tank. That's kind of the best way to navigate, actually, to just drop bombs and see how you get on. It's not the easiest room, but it's not complicated. It's just... well, you just gotta know what the hell you're doing, which is easier said than done, of course. Now, here's fun. Oh dear. Damn it. Try that again, because the blocks will have reset. Yeah, you gotta be really careful. Another secret little area. And there's that extra energy tank I told you about. Alright, so that's that. Go along here, there should be a Gamma Metroid. There goes another gamma. Right. Down. I think it's in here. Yep. I love how you can just fire off a missile and it'll almost always run into it. Gotcha. Whoop, oh, damn it. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Come on, up you go. There it is. The screw attack. It's funny how that became the icon for kind of Metroid in its own sort of way. I guess because it's traditionally the last pickup you get. Like, not always, because it's not necessarily always the last one you pick up, but it is typically the last one you get, like in most games. I think it's also, isn't that the same symbol they use at the end of Metroid 3 when you complete the game? That's probably why. Let's be honest, if it's like, ask yourself, oh, why is this used in Metroid so much? It's probably Metroid 3. Ooh, hey, I forgot there was a missile recharge here. Hey, you see? There we go. Okay. Oh dear. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Didn't want to fall all the way down. Good enough. Right, that should be Zeta across here? Yeah, it should be the last Zeta of the area. I forgot how grating the screw attack sound effect was. Good enough. They can really take a pummeling, can't they? I think it's about 30 missiles to get rid of those. Could be wrong about that. Actually, it might only be 20. Because I think it's 5 to take down the alphas, 10 to take down the gammas. So I think it's 20 to take down the zetas. Although, you know what? You know, it's one of those facts I used to know and have since forgotten. Because I guess my brain didn't feel the need to retain that information. Now, if memory serves, there it is. Let me drop down, and there you have it. And that puts me up to 250 max on my missiles, and I think that's all of them. I don't think there are any more after that. Oh dear. Ah, tits. This one always annoyed me. Woo! Of course, you probably noticed. Health up, pick up. Well, health top up, I should say, not pick up. There we go. Get back to the missile top up, because why the hell not? It's practically next door. And as you can see, 250 missiles. Told you. And I'm pretty sure that is the maximum you can get in the game. I don't think there's another missile tank anywhere else. Which makes sense, again, because of, 255 being the overflow, so, So that's good. So yeah, we're just moving on to the next area now. Ow. Stop it! Ooh. Oh, don't we face the first Omega Metroid now? I think we do, don't we? Yeah, because this is that weird bit that sort of loops around on itself for really weird reasons. It's like the only time the lava, acid, water stuff, whatever it is, goes up rather than down. Because first, we get the alpha. Actually, did we get the alpha first or did we get the... No, we get the alpha first. Which, after all the Zetas, does feel a bit anticlimactic, I guess. But then, of course, you also notice, hang on a sec, there's one there that's already cracked. Where's that one gone? Where could it be? Whoops, don't want to be doing that. So, yep. To the best of my knowledge, that the flag for bringing the Omega to that, area to fight, I mean, it starts as a Zeta, but you know what I mean. You have to go back into that area to see that the water or whatever it is has gone up, the acid. As far as I know, that's the only requirement. Hello. Stop it. Excellent. Well, that certainly brings down the numbers. I also do like, and it's not something you'd ever really notice if you weren't actually paying attention, which of course I was, because, I'm a nerd. But the explosion that the hang on, what the fuck are they? I'm blanking on them. Omegas. Sorry, my brain kept saying Alpha, and I'm like, no, it's not fucking Alpha. Alpha's the first one. But the explosion that the Omegas make is louder than normal. it's actually got a little more of an effect to it. I guess it's because it's like a bigger creature or something. Don't know exactly, but figured something like that. Take the opportunity to get a little bit of health and missiles back. Not by falling into the acid, thank you. Alright, up we go. We're in. The Omega Hive. I will say this is another pretty decent piece of music. It's probably not a great composition, but boy god does it have atmosphere. Especially with like the stomping noises in the background. It, you know, really makes you feel like you're in a place you are not supposed to be. Of course, here's the things referenced in Metroid 1, or a reference to Metroid 1, but this time you can actually jump out if you fall in the bloody things. Because they didn't make them too high for you to jump out of. Because, you know, that's the kind of thing a dick move developer would do. Good enough. Wonder what could be stomping off in the distance. Gee, yeah, I wonder. Whoops. See, that's what I did in the last game. But in this one I can jump back out, because they didn't make it too tall to jump out of. Oop. I did it again. Oh, I keep doing that. I've got to stop. No! Stop it. I need to save my health. Okay, it's through here, right? Yeah. Oops. Didn't want to fall in there, there's no point yet. Up we go. Kill a few enemies and see if we can get a little bit of health back. Only health that important is the last one? Well, you mean your last point of health? It's a little more complicated than that, I think. Oops. Careful now. The phrase from speedrunners that you like to mock for being dumb. Well, I suppose if you're speedrunning, that's true, but in an average game, actually, you know, keeping as much health as possible for the long run helps. Nice. Because by going in with 250 missiles, it means you don't really have to spend too much time recharging them. I do kind of wish... It's probably the one point of, I guess, design that maybe they overlooked, or maybe it was deliberate, I'm not sure. But I do wish there'd been some kind of missile and or energy recharge in this area, because... Like, I know why there's so few enemies in this area. That's obviously, like, you know, world building, storytelling kind of things. Like, this area is so devoid of creatures because the Metroids have killed them all. I get that. But it would have been nice to have a recharge, because the closest recharge is back in the previous area, of course. Which is quite some distance away at this point, but we'll be fine. Got plenty of missiles, plenty of energy tanks. Gotta backtrack all the way to the previous area. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know if that was like an oversight. Maybe they just thought, oh, you know, we'll make this area tough and not give people any recharges. Or maybe it was just... I don't know. It's one or the other. A lot of people say this game has bad design. I don't think it has bad design. I think it has design that's quite deliberate and intentional. For what is ultimately a Game Boy game, which has, you know, limits. And I think they did bloody well with what they had, all things considered. And there we go. And then there was Ron. Right. Now there's nothing left but the long walk. Still remember the first time I ever got this far in the game. I didn't know what to expect by this point, because obviously I didn't know that there was going to be the whole, hey, guess what, there's more Metroids thing coming up. Although that did surprise the hell out of me when that happens, because it's supposed to be a surprise, right? But yeah, it's a weird thing. You go through this whole section and there's just nothing. I almost wish, it's actually something that even AM2R doesn't do. I kind of wish that for this trek, there was no music in the background. Because there's nothing creepier than silence. You know? Like, that would really put you on edge, and you will be like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Because you also have those really weird sort of pits that you can fall through for no real reason, but you can tell the difference if you look. You can see the difference because they've got little holes in them. No reason other than just to troll the player, I guess. Still the stomping in the background. Here we have the final save point of the game. Right. Now I know it's about 10 or so minutes early, but I'm going to take a break here before we do the final run bit. Mostly because I really need the bathroom and I really don't want to be doing the end boss needing the toilet that badly. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you in a sec, guys. And we're back. Okay. Whew. Tell you what, it's still bloody warm here. Right. Let's go. To probably the trickiest part of the whole game. You really got to have learned how to use the space jump by this point. Alright. Health and missiles. Go up here, and we get the replacement ice beam, of course. On the absolutely wrecked Chozo statue. Remember the first time I picked that up, I was thinking to myself, why did they put the ice beam? The ice beam sucks! Why is the ice beam here? I gotta go all the way back to get another one now. Of course I didn't know, having never played a Metroid game before, that you kind of needed the ice beam. Also, this piece of music is fantastic. This sets you so on edge, it's kinda unbelievable how good it is at that. It's even got those thumps in the background which are like faster now. Just like, oof. Really, really good at what it does. And suddenly there's more. Okay. First time I ever did this section, I obviously didn't know how to kill a Metroid. Never come up before. I legitimately thought that these things were just like a barrier that you had to get past. And that all they were there to do was to leech away your health so that you were weak for the main... Oh, hits. Oh, come on. Come on! Oh, bugger off. Come on, look, I don't have time for this shit. Because I'm talking. You guys are distracting me. Yeah, I honestly thought they were just barriers just to leech your health away before you got to the last boss, which, you know, they're kind of doing a good job of. Let's be honest. Left. Yep. Ones that are underneath you are, of course, a lot easier to deal with. Here we go. Random room full of spikes. Oop, too slow. Come on, you bastard. There it goes. I know I could have done the thing where you roll into its mouth and blow it up from the inside, but wasn't in the mood. Goodbye. Here we get the wonderful leaving music. do that in other M anyway. Well, I'll do that both probably in AM2R, and I'll probably also do it in... well, in fact, no, I'll definitely do it in Samus Returns. I'll probably do it in AM2R. Because you don't have to do it in AM2R, funnily enough. You have to actually trigger it. But in Samus Returns, that's actually how you defeat the Queen. You have to roll into her, so... I also love... It's a little touch that AM2R did add in, well, after the fact. It wasn't in the final release version of AM2R, but the modded release version of it did add it in, that these crystals are actually where the X is stored. Which makes total sense if you think about it. Ah, lovely starry night. Of course, if you go up high enough... I guess that's supposed to be just the top of the atmosphere or something. I don't know. Nope, overshot. And there you have it. We fade to black. Get ready for the awesome credit music. Which I really love. This is one of the best pieces of music in the game. It is so triumphant. I think this might actually be the best credit music in the whole of the Metroid franchise. I don't know, I don't remember all the credit music usually, but it might be the best. Like, this is truly a great piece of music. Like I said, it's probably the best one in the whole game. And just in general. So there you have it, that was Metroid 2. Got through that quicker than I got through Metroid 1, but then, you know, NES game versus Game Boy game. Game Boy games are usually shorter. Yeah, you have it, that's Metroid 2, you know. Of course, next up comes the big one. Next up comes Super Metroid. Which I'm really not sure how to handle, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to beat that in 3 hours. Like, I can do it in 3 hours game time, but can I do it in 3 hours, like, in real life? Because the two are very different, as anyone who's ever played a game with a time ring can tell you. So we'll see how I handle that one. What I might do is play for 3 hours until I either complete the game or stop, and then if I don't quite finish, start it up in the next one, and then switch over to Metroid 4 once I'm done with it. Just jump straight across. I don't know. I'll see about that. We'll see. Because I remember last time I did Metroid 4 on a live stream, it took me about 3 hours and 20 minutes, which was really stretching the how long can I stream for bit. So, yeah, these sort of slightly longer games are going to play around with that. And I got, ooh, 140, very good. I don't think that's my best time, but it's pretty good. Actually, let me look it up real quick, because I don't remember what I got last time I did this back on my old YouTube channel. Give me a moment. Let's see what I got, shall I? Nope, quiet you. Quiet you. Hold up. Hang on, I gotta go down through all my videos. I got a lot of videos. Okay. Yes. I got a time of... Wait for it. I got 133 on that. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So yeah, I got 133 last time. How many... Hang on, I'm gonna need to check that one. Oh, come on. Problem with these old games is they just... Videos have trouble loading. Nah, I had 250. I wasn't sure if I got all of the missile tanks on that one, but I had. So yeah, there you have it. That is Metroid 2. It is just as fun and awesome as I remember. Here's the thing. It's one of those games that, like, because I know it, like, backwards, it's a very easy game for me. I imagine that someone coming into this game from a modern perspective would probably not have as much fun as I do. But then, you know, that's kind of years of experience. Like, you know, Metroid the other day was more manageable because I had the map with me. I kind of knew what to expect for the most part. I would say the map helps. Having a map of Metroid 1 makes it so much friggin' bearable. It's kind of unbelievable how easy that can make the game. Well, I say easy, you know, it makes it more manageable because you know where you're going, you know what you're doing and all that stuff. In Metroid 2, you don't strictly speaking need a map. The game's more linear, so you won't necessarily need a map as much. But it is a thing of... We'll get some sound going on in the background. It is very much a thing of, like, a map would help with 2. Obviously, you know, in future games, the game has an in-game map in and of itself, so you don't need it as much. So, yeah, just in general... I can understand people maybe not liking this who haven't played a Metroid game before. It's not the best introduction to the series, frankly. I think the best introduction to the Metroid franchise is probably either... I would say Super Metroid, but honestly, if you're going to start playing the series fresh, it's actually just good to start with Zero Mission. Because Zero Mission and 3 are easily the peak of, like, 2D Metroid. In my mind, I know some people say 3 is the best, other people say Zero Mission is the best. I kind of lean more towards Zero Mission myself, but they're both really, really good. So you could easily play Zero Mission just to get like a taste of what Metroid is like. And then for 2, you can either play Samus Returns, if you can get a hold of it. If not, then AM2R is easily available with just a Google search. So, you know, it's not hard to get a hold of. And AM2R is a very good remake of 2. And then, like, Super Metroid is actually, you know, still pretty good. Like, it's a little clunky by today's standards. Like, if you compare it to how Zero Mission or AM2R controls, 3 does feel a little bit floatier by comparison. But not in, like, a game-breaking or deal-breaking kind of way. And then, of course, you can just move straight on to Fusion, because, I mean, you know, that's the predecessor to Zero Mission, so, you know, you kind of know what to expect in that. So, yeah, I can understand people not liking Metroid 2, but personally, I love it. As I said, it's the first Metroid game, so it's got a special place in my heart. Thank you all for watching, everybody. I do hope you have enjoyed this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.